welcome back. I always look forward to this program every holiday season. I don't know how many years we've been doing it now, but James Arthur is back tonight. James, of course, the man who has done probably more research into a certain type of mushroom than anyone else on the planet. He is the man who brings us so much magic of the holidays in terms of its historic roots and how mushrooms actually played a very important role in some of the early and later Christmas cards that we'll be looking at tonight. Hopefully you're online, be able to load that up, look at James Arthur's name, look right underneath that, and load that page. Lots of fun things to look at. He is back, and let's see if he's online. Are you there, Jim?
I'm here, Jeff.
How many years have we been doing this?
I don't know, 4 or 5. I think it's 5.
I think it is 5. It's fun.
Yeah.
And every year you learn more and bring more to the table. Is there no end to this mushroom madness?
That's what I always keep wondering. I keep asking myself, oh, my God, I can't believe I figured this out. This must be the final thing to figure out. Then, sure enough, nope.
See, when they find the Ark of the Covenant and open it up, you know what's going to be in there.
Well, of course, the mushrooms are the manna.
Amanita.
That's correct.
And it's a remarkable thing that you have done. I really mean that when I say it. It's not too many people that can dig and connect the proverbial dots as well as you have. And, you know, accept or disregard what James Arthur will present tonight. It's sure fun. You can't take that away from the man. So what's happened that's new in the last, say, year since we've talked that tops your list? I know you're moving to larger and larger paradigms of understanding, so kind of give us a little serving of that, if you would.
Well, what's happened in the past year is I met an extraordinary guy named Jack Herer, and he's a Jewish scholar, but he's an avid studier and researcher and a really intense researcher of the Amanita muscaria mushrooms, and was also turned on to this aspect of it by discovering the works of John Allegro, particularly the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. And so when I met Jack, I was doing a show down in L.A. and giving 2 lectures 2 weekends in a row, and one of Jack's friends came to the show and said, you have to meet Jack Herer, you have to meet Jack Herer. And so I said, okay, I'll stop by on my way home. And so I stopped by Jack's house on Sunday night as I was heading back to Northern California, and I wound up leaving 3 days later because
missing time, they call it.
Oh, my God, when I met Jack and we started talking, the things that we had in common and even the things that we didn't have in common that were parallel research, it was mind-blowing. And so both of us became extremely edified by meeting each other. And as a matter of fact, when we started working together, we started uncovering things by leaps and bounds.
Uh-huh.
I had many years ago really given up studying biblical scripture because, you know, I read it and I felt like I had a pretty good understanding of it. You know, I knew it was about the mushroom, and I knew there was a lot there to uncover. And I'd spent thousands and thousands of hours doing it, you know, in my life. And I had sort of put it down and put it away for a while because it's so intense and so involved. And, you know, I probably wouldn't have gone back into this particular area because there's still so many things to uncover in the rest of the world without, you know, just going into the Abrahamic religions again. And as a matter of fact, I was rather disgusted by them, really, because of all the things that had happened in the Bible and things that were apparently, you know, really not very kind in human nature-wise, and the Jehovah God seemed to be, you know, pretty blatantly mean, and so it was really weird. So, you know, I took a break from it, and I got away from it and started studying, you know, Egyptology and Hinduism and pretty much anything but that. But when I met Jack, we got together, and he said, you have to read Song of Solomon.
What is it? Song of Solomon?
Yes.
Okay.
Song of Solomon, or also known as the Song of Songs.
Who wrote it?
Well, it was written by mushroom priests, you know, long before, way before it was ever put into the Septuagint or any of the Bible. It was in the Jewish text.
So you're talking a couple thousand years?
Yeah.
At least.
at least.
Okay.
Probably 3,500, something like that maybe. And it's a rather unique book because the Rabbi Akiva, who I wasn't familiar with when I met Jack, and he told me that this rabbi was the most highly respected scholar of all time to the Jews, and he lived in about 100 A.D., and he said that you could do away with every other book of the Bible and any other religious book. The only one that you have to keep, and the most important one of all, that you could never destroy, never let go to waste, is the Song of Solomon, or as they call it, the Song of Songs, or the Cant of Cants.
All right.
So, and I've read it before and stuff, and I knew there was mushrooms and stuff there, but when I sat down with Jack and we read it, it was a whole other thing happened. Somehow, the two of us working together and the understanding that both of us have made a perfect match, and so we felt like we could translate the whole thing, literally 100%, knowing everything that the book is talking about. Well, the Song of Songs it's a really deep piece of work, and there's whole college courses devoted to it across the country, just deciphering what it's talking about.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and several of the things are very well documented, and different opinions of high rabbis and scholars and priests, and many people have written about it, especially when you start to really get serious in ecclesiastical seminary. That's one of the things. And now read this and tell us what you think this is about. Well, because it all deals with this relationship, this very strange relationship, and there's a lot of things like dreams happening in his head, and all these strange references, like your nose. He's praising his beloved, and he says your nose is like a tree of Lebanon, or a cedar of Lebanon. Weird things like this. So, as you can imagine, people have interpreted it many ways.
I would think, with that kind of a description, yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of sexual innuendo implied in it too.
This is a family program.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just saying that.
I know. Go ahead.
If you go read it, you can't help but notice this. So anyway, we started looking at it and understanding that it's talking about mushrooms, and we know that. It became the epitome of man's relationship with these plants and the ecstatic states that they produce, and the hell-like experiences that they can produce. The elevator ride between one and the other, complete with vomiting, and the guy walking out of his house staggering around as if he's drunk, only he's beyond drunk because he's babbling to people that are in his mind, or things that are in his mind. And
he's cosmic.
And he gets beat up by these guards of the city, and all these weird things happen.
Right.
So when we started translating this, we were sitting in Jack's living room in Los Angeles, and his friend who introduced us, Jan Irvin, was there, and we all started talking, and another friend of theirs shows up, Joe Rogan from the Man Show, if you're familiar with that.
The what show?
The Man Show on Comedy Central.
I'm not.
He's one of the hosts of that show, and he was the host for several years, and the main host, or is, I guess, still, of the show Fear Factor. So anyway, he's a TV celebrity type guy, and he shows up, basically to meet Jack, because Jack is a huge celebrity. He's the author of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, which is he's sold over $1 million around the world. He's known as the grandfather of the hemp movement.
Okay.
He's the one that uncovered such things as the Hemp for Victory video that was put out by the United States government, where they made everybody grow hemp.
That, and people to this day don't understand that there are hemp stamps that farmers applied for and paid for so they could be allowed to grow hemp, which is without question one of the most utilitarian crops on the planet. It's amazing what that plant can do.
Well, it can even do bioremediation of the soil, which is remove pollution and things like this.
It's a gift from the universe. It truly is, yeah.
It is one of those plants that we like to think of in the book of Revelations, where it says, and the leaves of the trees will be for the healing of the nations.
Right.
And we fully believe, and we're putting our thoughts where our pins are, that the plants are going to be our only source to truly be able to heal ourselves.
What is it that we've done in the Amazon rainforest? I think we've evaluated 1% of the plants in terms of potential benefits.
Oh, yeah,
Something silly.
And there's hundreds of them that are, endangered already.
Sure.
And this is an insanity that the environmentalists have been, really using at the forefront for a long time. Well, it's really, really true. The plants are the things that can save us. And
It's totally true. Hold on right there, James, if you would. We'll be right back. It's our Mushroom Christmas program with the amazing James Arthur, and we shall continue in just a couple of minutes. Lots of pictures to look at. Don't forget, go to the homepage at Rense.com and load all the amazing images that James has brought tonight to share with all of us. Just look under his name. It says Mushroom Images. Be right back. Welcome back. Jeff Rense with James Arthur tonight. It's our 5th annual Mushroom Christmas program. And there is a whole lot more to this than we're able to touch on tonight, but we are going to look at some amazing pictures and images from the past and, well, perhaps some from the future as well. Okay, let's wrap up this first segment and jump into our wonderful treasury of pictures.
Okay. So can you hear me better now, Jeff?
Sound like you're right next door.
Oh, good. Okay. So I started for the last 10 months working on a new book that's called The Most High, Plants of the Gods and an Exploration into the End of the World as You Know It.
Nice short title. I like that.
So we've been working on that since February, since I met Jack, and he's a brilliant scholar. So when we put our heads together, some of the things that we've been uncovering are absolutely amazing. One of those things is the symbol and the mark of God in the book of Revelations and the symbol and the mark of the beast in the book of Revelations, the 666.
What is the symbol of God?
It is the caduceus.
Okay.
And the caduceus is also the symbol and the mark of the beast, the 666. And that's a long program, but that's a really good one, actually. We just did a 2.5-hour slide presentation, over 200 slides, in Amsterdam at the High Times 16th Annual Cannabis Cup, and we revealed all this information there. And High Times magazine is supposed to release this video that we did.
Good. I hope so. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, it's really good. 200 images, exploring the history and the origin of the caduceus and why the caduceus is the symbol and the mark of the beast.
Some people might not know what that is. Our younger listeners out there, tell them what the caduceus is. We've all seen it, folks.
We've all seen it as the staff entwined serpent that you see when you go to the doctor. It's the symbol for medicine, or the symbol for drugs, or the symbol for medical. There are several origins of it, but I'm not going to get into that right now because we don't have time. But it's serious stuff. And when we found this as we were interpreting the Book of Revelations, like I said, we first did the Song of Solomon, then we did the Book of Jonah, which we went back to the original Hebrew to do all these interpretations and to understand what the book is really talking about. We went back into do Jonah, and we discovered that this is all about mushroom experiences too. Then we went into and we tackled the Book of Revelations, and when we did that, we had no idea what type of stuff we were going to uncover in going back to the original ancient Greek. So this has been quite the experience in the last year, and it's truly added to the Christmas information and the whole overall picture of this thing